So it's connecting. Just 1 minute. We'll be ready.
Sir, wait for 2 minutes. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sri Akilandeswari Women's College, the international webinar series, as Akilandeswari Women's College is celebrating its Silver Jubilee year. So it's glad that the last 1 month it's been Akilandeswari College has been empowering the knowledge of academicians, students, and the like-minded community for the last 1 month with various topics and with various departments. And today it's going to be the Department of Computer Science who is hosting the topic on the cloud computing. And we have very good resource person from Institute of Technical Education, Singapore, Mr. Anbuselvan, the project head and the manager of Institute of Technical Education. And I request Dr. Tamilnadu, the head of the Department of Computer Science, to give the inaugural address.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am, please.
An auspicious morning to one and all present here. Greetings from the management of Akilandeswari Women's College, Wandiwash. I hope you are all very safe. I'm very honored to be here to welcome you all for the Silver Jubilee International Webinar on Cloud Computing. On behalf of the management, principal, vice principal, and my own behalf, I welcome our chief guest, Mr. Anbuselvan, sir, head and project manager, Institute of Technical Education, Singapore. Next, I took privilege to welcome our chairman, Munirathnam, sir, permitting us for organizing such type of program during this quarantine period. And I'm very proud to welcome our secretary, M. Ramanan, sir, who behind us for each and every moment of our milestone. Next, it's my immense pleasure to welcome our dynamic principal, Dr. S. Maithili ma'am, and our vice principal, Ms. K. Subna ma'am, for supporting us to conduct such type of events. Finally, I am very happy to welcome the heads of various departments, national and international participants from various institutions for this Silver Jubilee International Webinar on Cloud Computing. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your warm introduction. And I request Dr. Balamanian, the assistant professor from Department of Computer Science, the Akilandeswari Women's College, to give the introduction of the chief guest.
Good morning, everybody. Honorable Chairman, sir, dear Secretary, sir, respected Principal, Madam, Vice Principal, Madam, and dear participants of this webinar. I am happy to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Anbuselvan, my PG classmate and my close friend. Mr. Anbuselvan is the head of portal applications at the Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. He has been in ITE for the past 20 years and having totally more than 25 years of IT experience. He got his PG degree at Parishdasan University, Trichy, India during 1994. After his PG degree, he completed his professional diploma in J2EE and Web Services from Institute of System Science, Singapore. He works with the application and infrastructure experts to implement cloud services and the cloud-based solutions and IT applications. He is experienced in IT project management, information architecture, .NET, J2EE, IBM, Sun Solaris, and other suitable technologies. He is the union leader and the chairperson of Amalgamated Union of Public Employees, ITE, Staff Branch, Singapore. He is also a Tamil writer and a poet. Today, we are going to learn about the cloud services, needs of clouds today, current status of cloud, and cloud future technologies. I welcome you all and to participate in this webinar. Anbuselvan, sir, may I request you to take over the session? Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Clear, clear.
Hi, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for the good introduction. And I would like to thank everyone first before I start. So let me start first. I will give a thank note at the end of the session. So I was approached to talk about cloud computing. So since I have some experiences on that, and then with my experiences, I just like to start giving you something what I learned as part of my work, or part of my education, or part of my learning and experience, just to you all. So so thanks for listening. So let me start. Just about myself, my name is ANBUSELVAN, and my email address is here. So as Bala Subramanian has explained or introduced, I got about more than 25 years of experience in IT. And I studied in India and in Singapore, and has been in this Institute of Technical Education for more than nearly about 20 years already. So Institute of Technical Education is a government state board under Ministry of Education, just for information. So let me move on to that. So we are talking about cloud computing. We are talking about cloud. And what is a cloud? And what is computing? What the cloud has to do with computing, right? So what is it? So cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient and on-demand network access to shared pool of configurable computing resources. So it can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Is it the one? Or the cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power, without direct active management by the user? Or is it the data centers available to many users over the internet? So when you are talking about all these three, which one it comes into, or which one you link it to, is a challenge. So to me, it comprises of all these three. All right, it is an on-demand network and computing resources and on-demand availability of the resources like data storage and computing power, and more or less it is a one big data center available somewhere in the cloud or available somewhere there for us to use over the internet. And then, so now we are talking about lots of cloud and cloud computing. Then before cloud computing was found or introduced, how were we surviving? Did we survive without cloud? Or we never do anything, right? The answer is yes, we survived before cloud generation. But how it was done? The first thing is, is the traditional server concept. A traditional server concept is, is we always set up one big server or smaller server. It depends on the company, or it depends on the business, or it depends on the user. If I am a student, I just buy a simple Microsoft hardware, and then I can set up the server. If it is a bigger company, I may buy a bigger server. It could be Solaris, or it could be Unix, or whatever operating system. We can set up a traditional server concept. In this server, what we can do is we have been doing that, the hardware is there, the operating system is there, and the storage is there, and on top of it, the application what we are developing is running. So in order to do an application, I need all these minimally, right? One is hardware. On top of it, there is operating system to operate the hardware. And in order to store my applications or data, I need a storage. And on top of that, I develop an application encompassing all these different components to come up with that. So it was done in one single server, everything included. That was a concept early days. Then science is evolving and technology is evolving. Every now and then the technologies keep on changing. The next wave was the virtual server concept. So at first we talk about a single server concept. I've lumped everything into a single server, right? And the next one is the virtual server concept. What is the virtual server concept, right? It separates the server software away from the hardware. What does it mean? I have a hardware big enough to support maybe 2 or 3 users or 10 users or 50 users. The underlying hardware, you look at the diagram, right? The storage, network, servers, all at the base of the diagram. And on top of that, there is a virtual infrastructure, is virtually controlling the applications running. So on top of that, there is a basic hardware underlining. On top, what we have done is we have multiple virtual machines per se. What is a virtual machine? Every virtual machine is not a physical server per se. It is a software which is acting as a server. So which provide one or multiple servers for every individual to use. So if I need 10 servers, I don't need to buy a 10 different server. I buy a one big box, and then on top, I would be able to configure multiple virtual server for me. So I have 3 applications running. Application 1 and application 2 and application 3 can be on 3 different virtual machines instead of 3 different physical server per se. Then what's the difference? I have been with a single server, then move on to one basic server at the bottom, and then I have multiple virtual servers. Then what is the difference in coming into cloud? You look at this cartoon, right? So it's talking about the dog is looking at where usually just go and hide the bone somewhere, right? But the other dog is talking about I bury the bones in the cloud. So where cloud computing takes virtualization one step ahead. So virtualization is, we saw just now, is one big server. On top, I have configured multiple virtual individual workstations or servers. And then this cloud concept is somewhere else, is not at my data center. So virtualization is the ability to run multiple operating systems on a single physical system, right? So I may have one big server at the bottom. On top, I may have cloned 3 different virtual servers, and then virtual server 1 can be running on Windows. Virtual server 2 can be running on Solaris. Virtual server 3 can be running on Linux. So you can be able to run multiple operating systems. This is the concept in virtualization, right? And when you're talking about cloud computing, the provisioning of services in a timely, on-demand manner to allow the scaling up and down of resources. Let me explain how does it help on this kind of timely and on-demand manner. In terms of virtual server, I already pre-planned, I may need 10 or 5 servers for me. I have a bottom line of maybe the hardware which is good enough to support 5 servers. So after 6 months, if I want to size up, I may have a new application coming on board for some additional support. How can I increase the CPU or storage of these additional 2 servers? In the virtual concept, I may need to buy a new hard disk or storage. I may need to buy additional CPU. If it is a pluggable one, you can plug it in. If it is unpluggable, you may need to buy additional server to attach to the server which is already there. So it takes some time for you to buy the server, procure the server, and then configure the server, and to provide. By the time you finish all your testings and everything, you won't be able to deliver your new application on time. So on cloud, how does it help? Cloud somewhere somebody is already ready with those resources. So resources. So what we can do, if I am already on cloud, what I can do, I will just ask them to just increase my CPU by 2 by just submitting one request via email or through the administrative console. So I am saying that, it is in the cloud, and then I can just send one request for them to, increase the size of storage or CPU. Then my question is it owned by me or my company? Who owns the cloud? Is it owned by me? No. In short, you are renting the resources from the cloud pool. It is something like, you want to, you are not on it, and you just go and rent from somebody. Why is it being done? Because it's very flexible to request to add up any resources, and it's upgradable or downgradable. If you already subscribe to a cloud, and then you want a command, I do not need 5 CPU. My business is sized down. I just need only 2 CPU. You just send one request to them. Immediately they will get down into 2 CPUs, and then you don't need to pay more for your resources. But if it is on virtualization or you're on site, definitely you can't do that, because your investment is already done, and then you don't get back for what you're not using. So this cloud also transferable from one to another applications, or one cloud vendor to another one if it is compatible. So I give you an example of like how the cloud is work, right? So I want to build a house. So I want to have a house, or I want to have a business office. In a traditional way, what I do, I go and look for the land, I go and look for the contractor, and then I build my own building, and then I go in and stay there, right? So I may need lakhs and lakhs of money, 100,000s of rupees of money to build my own house, to do all these things, right? Rather, what I'm doing is I just need a house, I go to an apartment, and then ask them, hey, come on, I just need an apartment with 2 rooms, with a hall, and 2 master bedroom, good enough for me. How much is the rental? So I just pay my rental, and then I stay in that room or that house for as long as like. I pay monthly or quarterly, is up to the agreement you have with the provider. All right. In this case, your one-time investment is not required of lakhs and lakhs of money, right? And you just go and pay for what you use. So after 5 months or 2 months, I'm very tired with 2-room apartments, which is not enough. I have new babies, I have new families coming in. My parents are coming and stay with me. So I won't extend. I need 2 more bedrooms, right? What I need to do is I just tell the guy, hey, come on, I just need to upgrade my house to a 5-room apartment. Can you just tell me how much it is? Right? Easily, you just subscribe to that. You just immediately move to the next building or in the same floor or whatever you are given. You just pay an additional fee for your rental. So that's the concept here of how the computer cloud concept is working. All right. So if you look at it, the diagram says that the infrastructure and platform and applications and all is there. So you can use via laptop or server or desktop or tablet or mobile. Is how it can be consumed. So now, in the technicality, what are the characteristics of cloud computing? Cloud characteristics there are 5. Let me go through one by one. On-demand self-service. A consumer can provision computing capabilities such as server time and network storage, as needed automatically without requiring human interaction. I just explained, right? So on-demand self-service. I'm running on the cloud. I just need another 2 CPU. I can just immediately have it done. So the provisioning can be done automatically. I just submit a request. For example, when there is, I have a system for my school, which supports maybe 100 or 500 users to access. If maybe at one point of time there is examination results are releasing, I just want to roll out this system, during the examination results day, on that particular day, maybe 5,000 or 10,000 of your students are coming in to check my results. Whether your system can able to support the load, I don't think so. It won't, because your system is already scaled for 5,000 users or 500 users, and they can't able to take 10,000 users. So cloud, before the day, what you can do, you just submit one request, can you size up my cloud of my server, right, to support 10,000 concurrent users? What they will do, the cloud will just size up the resources, maybe they increase additional CPU to support the load, is automatically taken care. And then your examination results were successful and your students are happy receiving their examination results. So this is how the cloud is working. But in a traditional way, you can't. Your system will fail. All right. The next one is broad network access. And capabilities can be available over the network and accessed through heterogeneous thin or thick client platforms, right? So the cloud is already there. It can be accessed in any means, any platforms. The next one is resource pooling. The provider's computing resources are pooled to serve multiple consumers using a multi-tenant model with different physical and virtual resources. How does it work? It's dynamically assigned. Maybe I am just subscribing to a cloud and my friend, another company, is also subscribed to the cloud. I may be using a different operating system. I may be using a different service model, and he may be using a different model, but all in the same cloud computing setup. So that is possible in the cloud computing. And it can be dynamically assigned and based on the customer demand. The characteristics are, the last two characteristics is rapid elasticity. It is rapid elasticity. Capabilities can be elastically provisioned and released, in some cases automatically based on demand. To the consumer, the capabilities available for provisioning often appear to be unlimited and can be appropriated in any quantity at any time. I don't care. Can you just increase my CPU to 10 times? Yes, immediate, right? Or can you increase my RAM or memory to another how many gigabytes? It can be done immediately. That's called elasticity. You don't need to wait. You don't need to wait for hours or days to do that. It's instantaneous, because massive number of storage or massive amount of storage and resources are already set up in the cloud. So it's very easy to consume. And measured services means a cloud systems automatically control and optimize resources by leveraging a metering capability at some level of abstraction. What does it mean? I have a storage, I have a processing capacity, I have a bandwidth and active user accounts for my applications. And how do I know how much storage is being used and how much processing bandwidth was used and how many number of active user accounts was being active in the system? In a traditional, it's a bit hard, and then you have to go down every day, go down as a backend administrator to find out all these things, right? So in cloud, it's already provisioned. All you need to do is just log on to the interface via a mobile browser or your laptop or iPad, any kind of browsers, and then you can get a report and monitoring details immediately. So it's providing transparency for the provider and consumer in a way that you can pay for how many number of bytes you have used, or you pay for how many number of hits you have your website has gotten. So it is very granular up to the byte level you can pay. So you don't need to bulk up a bulk number amount upfront already. So having said that, right, I was talking about the standalone model, I was talking about the cloud, the virtual model, and I was talking about the cloud computing models, right? So what on all these models, right, what I'm going to do, either I am running my application, right? So what is an application? I think for the benefit of some students who are new to understand, I just give you some explanation about, on top of the cloud or the server or thing, the application I am talking about, it could be a website. It's just an informational website, just to provide information about your business, about your personal profile, or a website which can talk about more detail about a government agency's website to provide detailed information for everyone. So that's website. The other one is application. What is an application? It's a transactional application. It could be, for example, you want to go to apply for a passport, you go and log on and then submit your application. So this is a transactional application system we are talking about, which can be deployed on top of the cloud. The other applications are, other like digital services we are talking about. So there are so much of digital services and analytics to understand how people access my website, how many people access my website, is it a broker link, what is the most visited website, what is the most number of accessed e-services on my website. All these things can be done. So when I talk about the cloud deployment model now, from the provider's perspective, if I am the cloud provider, what are the deployment model I am catering for my consumer? So that hey, I have ABC, right? I have carrots, I have brinjal, I have apple, all kind of things I have. So I give it to you, so you just consume whatever you want, you pay for use. So as a provider, perspective, the cloud deployment models can be these four. How in the cloud is deployed for us to use. The first thing is public cloud. So what is a public cloud? The second one is a private cloud. Third one is a community cloud. Fourth one is a hybrid cloud. So public cloud is nothing but, take an example, right? A public bus. Anyone, you just get into it, pay a fare, which is equal for everyone. I'm sorry. It's equal for everyone. And the service may be the same. You are traveling from one place to another. You can get on wherever you want. And your objective is, I want to move from one place to another place. So you can take the public cloud. I can take the public cloud. So we all can using this public cloud. Then, what is the advantage? Or why, in what cases I may not choose the public cloud? There are risks, right? I go into it. Sometimes it is free. I have a seat. If I am a senior citizen, all right, during the peak hours, I might have a seat. So I pay the same fare, but I don't have a seat to sit. Or very crowded. So I may not find it very difficult, very convenient to travel. So this kind of discomfort may be there, right? So the same thing in the cloud. There might be risks. All right, it could be a security risk, it could be a service availability risk. If everybody share the resources, sometimes it may be down or it may not be available. I mean, nowadays all the clouds are very, very robust. So it's very slim chances for going down. So the next one is private cloud. come on, I do not want to go into the public cloud. I do not want to go and mingle with all those people. I just want to have my own space. My application must have a separate place to stay. I don't want anyone to come and disturb me. So it's something like a private car. So you have your own car, and then this concept like private cloud. What you can do in the private cloud, you don't need to worry about the public. Somebody else come and disturb you in the private. The other thing is, the good thing about it is you can customize whatever you want, right? It's up to you. You want to use a Maruti Suzuki, right? Your objective is to travel, but you want a Maruti Suzuki, you can just you go and subscribe to the model, right? Or you want to have a Mercedes Benz, then you can have. The private cloud provides both the luxury. You can customize in that. I want this, that, anything you can customize in the private cloud. Just a matter of click, just one request via browser. That's the advantage. In a traditional way, no, you can't. You have to spend months and months to invest, a lot of money to invest. Then community cloud. Community cloud is also like a sharing, but it is like not a public sharing, it's a private sharing. I give you an example of, there are some companies, right? Like IT companies in Chennai, they have hundreds of people, thousands of people working in the same building. So there are private transport, which it allows to pick them up freely from the railway station or from the bus stop to the company, or bring them back after the office, right? So these buses only allows the people from that particular company. So if a public I want to go into the bus to reach there, no, they won't allow it. So that's called community cloud, which is private to two different companies as well, but only those two companies can consume. Hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is, combination of private plus public. For example, I give you an example of, maybe I have a application, which is a website, which we're talking about my, company. How good is my company, just for marketing purposes, what is my turnover and kind of things. You can put it. This is very open information. If anybody see the information, there's nothing wrong, right? I want them to see the information. This is just a simple informational website or application per se. Can I use the public cloud or private cloud? Private cloud is costly, right? Costlier than the public cloud. So for this kind of informational website, I can just go to public cloud. There is no big risk, right? But within that, I have a company, I have another application which allows public to, pay fees for my services. Do you put it in the public cloud or private cloud? So what you do is you can use a hybrid cloud. Within that, you can have a private cloud for this particular application. So these are the models which are allowed for cloud deployment models. It's up to you as a business owner to decide which one you want to use. Then, as a consumer, cloud services are there. Yes, correct. The cloud models are there. You tell me that there are 5 or 4 models are there. Which one I want to use? How can I use? It all depends on your business needs, right? So, from the user perspective, I am the user, right? I am the company boss. I want to use a cloud for my application. What service model I can use? All right. There are few models, very proven. Yeah, it is 3 from the top, right? So if you look at it, infrastructure as a service. The next one is platform as a service, software as a service. These are the 3 models available. If you look at it at the bottom, IaaS, right? So what happened is IaaS is a infrastructure and network architects, right? So what it does is it just provides a basic infrastructure as a service. And the next one is platform as a service. On top of it, I'm sorry. So software as a service. Okay, these are the three models. The cloud providers can able to give you any kind of services there. You can subscribe for anything. But the bottom line is, without infrastructure, the other two may not be existing. Without, so how does it work? For example, if I want to use, I'm sorry, if I want to use just a pure infrastructure and network architecture, I don't want anything else, right? Maybe I go to the cloud, I go and sign up. Come on, give me the server storage and the network. All right. Then what they give you is a container, like a server space for you, in which what you need to do is you install your operating system. You want to use your Microsoft operating system, or Linux, or your own, whatever. You just go and do it. And then on top, you install your software, whatever the software you want to install for your application. On top, you develop your application. All right. A software development encompass of all these three, right? All these things, right? So they give you a just basic infrastructure with the network and server storage. You have to install operating system, software, and application. So this is IaaS, infrastructure alone. What is application developers? The application developers, for application developers, OS and application stack, server, storage, and network all will be provided. So the operating system will be provided. Your application also provided if you want. What you need to do is the application developer just go and develop an application. For example, if you are using a .NET or SharePoint is already there. Your operating system is there. What you need to do is just go and use the SharePoint to develop your applications. Or the other words, you have a PHP, and then PHP application will be provisioned. Sorry, PHP services will be provisioned, the software. What you need to do is you just develop the application using PHP and deploy there and run it. This platform as a service. On top of that, SaaS. What is SaaS? Software as a service. I don't need to do anything, right? It's already there. What I need to do is I just go and consume it. Let me give you an example of software as a service. Maybe a survey. If you go to you want to do a survey, you won't go and subscribe to a infra as a service, and then you buy a software operating system, install a survey software, you develop your own survey system. No, right? Do you do that as a platform? I just subscribe to an operating system and all those networks. I just go and develop a new survey application. No. If it is a common survey, you don't do that. What you do, you just go to Google or a SurveyMonkey kind of providers, and then ask them, hey, can I use your software as a service? Of course, yes. Currently, they are provided free for you. But if you want to have some kind of special features and things, storage and things, you may need to subscribe to it. So that is called SaaS model, software as a service. So the survey software is already there. Once you log on, create the account, you pay the fee, it's already there. Then you use your browser to just go in and create your own survey and then do everything. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to create your own survey. Survey creation is just nothing. You don't need any technical skill. Anybody can do it without any technical knowledge. But in the other two models, PaaS and PaaS and IaaS, you need to know technical details. You need a technical developer to install or develop any application. In the SaaS model, no. Anybody just subscribe, you go and create your thing just using like a Microsoft Word kind of thing. Yeah. So if you look at this table, the on-premise, you know, the blue color one, you manage. So you need to manage your networking, you need to manage your storage, you need to manage your server. This is a traditional way of doing things many years ago or decades ago, right? So now you look at it, IaaS, what you need to manage: application, data, runtime, middleware, OS. Your virtualization, server, storage, networking, all the orange one, all managed by the cloud provider. Same thing, platform as a service, what you need to manage: only application and data. The rest is provided to you. And SaaS, nothing. You don't manage anything, all managed by themselves. So that's the difference between all these models. But every model, if you go from IaaS to PaaS to SaaS, you know, the pricing is different and your requirement is different. It depends on, it is like tailor-made. What you want, you pay per use. Okay, there is one small video I just like to share. It's a bit funny, but it's some good information as well. Can I ask the admin to just play the video for me?
Yeah, I'll do, sir. I'll do now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of technology. This is funny already.
Yeah, hey, listen to me. I did some serious research on this, and by that, I mean I looked it up on Wikipedia, and here's Wikipedia's definition of the cloud. Cloud computing is an information technology paradigm that enables ubiquitous access to shared pools of configurable system resources.
Yeah. So, what does that mean in layman's terms?
I think it means Wikipedia doesn't know either. Here's what I know. The term cloud is very misleading. It makes you think, oh, my stuff is up there in the atmosphere, floating around, being protected by Jesus. In reality, when you send all your digital files to the cloud, whether it's your photos on your phone, your emails, music, whatever, you're really just sending stuff to someone else's much bigger computer.
Well, whose?
Apple's got one, I think, and Google's got a few.
Yeah, and where are they?
Oh, there's one at Apple. There's another one out the back of Google, I think.
Okay, look, how big are these computers?
Oh, mate, they are massive. Somewhere around like 1 million megabytes each.
That's a terabyte. That's a hard drive about this big. That's...
Come on, Jack. It's not the future. The point I'm trying to make is that the cloud is really just a storage box, but because you can't see it, it's hard to visualise. That's why I've brought in this big box. Now, imagine my box is the cloud.
Okay, hang on. I'm not sure that's the best way for anyone to imagine the cloud.
Well, yes, it is, because, look, you can put anything in my box. It's huge. Look, let's put all your music in there, all your digital files, the stuff on your laptop. We've got your family photos, all right?
Hang on, that looks
everything
that looks like my
phone.
stuff.
Yeah, I just went and took it.
You went and took my stuff?
Yeah, well, I didn't ask you, because that's what the cloud does. It just takes your stuff without asking. It's like when I'm cooking. It's exactly the same as when I'm cooking. My mum just keeps putting stuff away before I'm finished with it. I'm like, Mum, come on. I was still using the bacon and the ham and the butter and the Baileys, for God's sake.
Jesus, what are you cooking?
Oh, just a little Saturday morning pick-me-up. Anyway,
Wait, hang on. That doesn't look very secure, Kitty.
I know. That's what makes it an exact replica of the cloud.
Hang on. Wait, someone just went into the box.
Into my box.
Look, can we just say the box instead of your box? Look, that guy. Look, this guy.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
This is what happens. The cloud gets hacked all the time. I don't know why. I don't know why people put everything in there. Honestly.
Wait, hang on. People put stuff in there. people put stuff in there because it's a very easy way to back up your files, and it's also very convenient. I mean, if I can access the cloud from anywhere, 24/7, anytime I want.
Yeah, righto, Zoot review for the cloud. Thanks very much for that.
Well, it's just so convenient.
My point is it's not safe. We just saw the cloud get hacked right in front of our very eyes. And we hear about famous people having their photos and emails stolen from the cloud all the time. So why do we keep putting stuff?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Can you see?
Yeah,
you
you
see
can.
the slide?
Not yet, sir. You can share your screen.
Oh, sorry for the interruption. I hope you had some fun. So you look at it, right? The video. Generally is talking about the public cloud, but it is not as serious as it is now. The technology and the security is so stringent, and it's fine. But the joke was about, you know, in the public cloud, you know, is it so secure or not? You know, my view is, you know, we as a person, right, we have our own private emails, which, you know, we have in Yahoo, we have in Hotmail, or we have in Gmail, kind of stuff. So every email providers, they're giving you free space, right? Drives, you know, Google Drive or Dropbox, you know, and these kind of public clouds, you know. So that this is one example for the public clouds, which is free clouds, which you may find it, you know, sometimes unsecured for use, right? So that's why you must think through how much security is required for your file. So how do I secure my cloud? The next one is, how do I secure my cloud? Having all your data up, there is the cloud. Security is very important to procure data on cloud. So cloud computing security access providers, you know, there are in the market. By default, the cloud computing provider, whoever provide the cloud computing option for you to subscribe, it comes with the basic security measures to protect your applications or data. But these are all some very top security access providers, those who provide extra security for your applications. So Microsoft, McAfee, Netspoke, Symantec, Bitglass, you know, all these players are the top players in the market, those who provide the computing security, cloud computing security. All right, I have a cloud, but what am I going to secure? It's in the cloud, it's my application. What am I going to secure? The question is data. Any application we develop or any website we develop, what are we going to store in that? Basically, it's the data, it's the information, right? It could be your personal or business entity. If you are an individual, you put your name, your Aadhaar card, you know, for Singapore case is, you know, national registration number, and your date of birth, and your credit card numbers and everything. So if you don't protect, if somebody take it, it may not be secure. If the credit card details is leaked, someone may go and use your credit card, and, you know, and you are at loss. And for business entities, right, if they don't secure their data, they don't secure their customers, they don't secure their accounts, you know, it will be a big loss. So how do I define the security for my cloud computing? I already subscribed to cloud computing, and I do want to secure my data. In what basis I'm going to define my data needs to be secure or not secure. There are few things you need to notice, which is data sensitivity. The information that you should be protected from unauthorized access or disclosure to other people is sensitive in nature, right? So the sensitivity is more important. Is it very sensitive, or is it sensitive high or sensitive normal? You decide on your data. The second thing is your data classification. Is your data, how you define your data, how you classify your data, whether it is open to all, are you closed, or is it confidential data or restricted? It depends. If you are dealing with the students' examination results, how do you define? Is it open? Definitely not open. You do not want to let the marks of every student to anyone to see. So you have to see that in that format, right? So the next one is data ownership. You have to look at it. Who owns the data? What level of ownership will you lose when it moves on to cloud? For example, if I publish a data or publish an application into the cloud, how, when the loss of data, as the data can be replicated to multiple machines, right? What happens is, if I lose the data or if somebody else get the data, how much loss I get? That is more important. If there is no loss, fine. You can just leave it open and then you can put it everywhere or any cloud. But if your data is very precious and very important and you do not want to lose, then it is the responsibility for you to protect your data in the cloud by taking ownership. So all these things form a basis for your data to be secured or not secured, or to be hosted in the commercial, public cloud, or in the private cloud, or any kind of other two clouds. Yeah. These are the cloud needs. If it's a cloud, everybody talking about the cloud, and then what why I go into cloud? Why I need to go into the cloud computing platform? First, money. So it's very cheap. Cloud is always cheap. No, it's not only money, but also it provides some kind of agility, right? So today you have an application. This application have two different modules. Okay, one module you roll out to your students, the other module you roll out to your staff, right? So what happened is, your student population is maybe about 3,000 and your staff is only few hundred. What do? You just go and subscribe to staff first and then run first the staff application, and then you go and subscribe to a model which is required for that few hundred staff to support, and your student application will be ready in 1 year or another 8 months time. You don't need to subscribe to the cloud for that. You just subscribe only for your staff. After 8 months or 1 year, when your student application is ready, then what you can do, you just upgrade your cloud capacity and serve all. So your application development can be agile. You don't need to follow the waterfall method. Agile, so it provides more value for your money. So it's not always just because of money. And the second one is, you have to be cloud to be good. I just tell my, the other business partner that, hey, I am on cloud. That's why I feel very good. No, you don't need to, cloud wash. Cloud washing is, just to say everything I cloud kind of feeling. So no need. You just look at your business requirement, and based on the business requirement, you decide whether it deserves to be on cloud or no. And cloud should be used for everything. No, unless you have a clear cost savings can be realized upon go on cloud, it is not a right choice. So moving a legacy application is generally not a good use case. Just because it is already running on a server, I just go to the cloud. No, So whether it give you some cost savings or not, you know, in the long term, usability and other factors to consider before you choose. The other thing is, you know, hey, my CEO said, so I am using a cloud strategy. Come on, that's not a right thing to do, right? So you should identify your business goals, you know, what is my business goal, what is my vision, right? And then you use those, and then whether that potentially benefits or not. If so, then you go. Not just because of my CEO, my boss, or my director, my manager, whoever says. Huh? And the other one is we need one cloud strategy or vendor. In the bigger companies, right? People are talking about, you know, CIOs or IT heads. They may start thinking about, you know, if I have one cloud strategy, I don't need to worry about others. If I just follow Microsoft, I don't need to worry about the other technologies. You know, I always depends on one particular vendor. I don't need to worry about others. I think that's not the right thing to do. You know, if you are doing a multiple application where a very bigger companies, you can explore based on your business requirement. You can try other strategies on cloud or other vendors as well, so that you know you have a backup if required. You know, for some reason this vendor is not reliable, then you switch to the other vendor. So that's another thing, one of the myths we have to look at it. The last one is cloud is always more secure than on-premise capabilities. You know, it depends. On cloud security is a shared responsibility between the provider and the consumer. You know, I subscribe my application and then I put everything into the cloud. I don't care. My cloud provider is responsible for the security. No, it is a joint responsibility between the provider and the consumer as a me. So I need to define what is the security level for my application, and the cloud provider could be able to set up for you based on your needs. So it is not individually they are responsible. Since we are talking about a lot of clouds, right? So that we're talking about the private cloud. Now it's a government cloud. Government around the globe are going to digital to improve the citizen services, right? Every government, whether it is US or Singapore or Indian government, all the government agencies or all the government, they have a vision and roadmap for every one of the applications. Right. And I just wish to share some insight about the Singapore. In Singapore, you know, Singapore is always one of the pioneers in implementing all the new technologies for citizens. So the recent one is Digital Government Blueprint was announced in 2018. So Singapore has been in this kind of development a long time back. We talk about 2010 to 2017, a panel of public cloud service provider was formed. And in 2014, web content management. Web content management is if you are doing a website, you don't need to use your Dreamweaver or your HTML or front page or whatever. You don't need to. You just have a WCM, web content management system. You just you define your templates. After that, your content owner just need to go and fill up the content only. So they don't need to have any technical knowledge to publish the content for your website. So it was offered on G Cloud. G Cloud is government cloud. And 2018, launch of Nectar, there is a centralized hosting, which allows the government agencies plus the vendors also collaborate. The same year, 2018, government private cloud was formed to allow the government agencies to develop and host their applications. In 2019, this last year, the government launched a government on commercial cloud. So government on commercial cloud is commercial cloud. We are referring to, you know, the cloud on Amazon or Microsoft, which is outside of our government agencies' data centers. So Singapore launched in 2019 government commercial cloud. So we can just subscribe to, agencies can able to subscribe to government commercial cloud, but they still need to follow all the stringent security requirements defined by the government technology agencies. So in Singapore, Government Technology Agency GovT is a governing body for the IT and security for all the government agencies. So they have come up with a roadmap for cloud competency roadmap for public service officers and vendors. It's about, since then, about 800 public service officers, the government servants were trained on cloud technologies and certified. And government commercial cloud certifications introduced for all to attend. So vendors also encouraged to take the certification to be familiar with the cloud environment, because the government commercial cloud, right? They also have a security constraint and things. So they encourage everyone to go for this certification to understand more of government cloud, so that the vendor also know, so that they can do a better application deployment. So there's some use cases recently, you know, in terms of COVID-19 chat for businesses. COVID-19, Singapore was on circuit breaker, which allowed people to stay home, and then suddenly all the people are allowed to work from home. Now those who are unable, then they may need to go to office with special permissions. So with this work from home, all the government agencies or people, you know, they need to deliver something quickly to support this COVID-19, right? I just give you a quick example of, you know, COVID-19 chat for businesses. You know, this is a chat, like, you know, a chatbot to allow people to key in some queries or FAQs. Immediately it will give some answers. And COVID-19 Go Business Portal also immediately provided during this COVID period for people, Go Business Portal, for business people to refer. And situation report also on cloud, and flu go where, you know, this is another application quickly developed and deployed to say that, you know, I am having a flu. What are the hospitals and where can I go? So this is a quick one done. And Govt.sg WhatsApp is also a WhatsApp application which is deployed on cloud, so to allow people to WhatsApp to get information about that. And Mass Go Where is another application developed quickly to check where can I, because the government provided free masks to all the citizens and, you know, PRs and public. So they can just go and check it out. Where can I go and collect my mask? By keying some information. And then for staffs who are working, right, leave of absence and stay home notice tracking solution. This is application to allow staff to, you know, I am on leave of absence, or, you know, sometimes, you know, I go in contact with some COVID patients. I just go and key in, you know, I met up this patient, I was with that, so I am quarantined. So you can track where they are. Safe entry also to allow people to enter into office premises. They can just scan, they are coming in and they're going out, they can. So at least they know this particular person enter this building or this place or what time to what time. And then Trace Together is another application everyone can download, and using a Bluetooth technology, if it is within the range, it will just store the information about, you know, who is nearby and things. In case of some COVID contact tracing requirement, with the permission of the person, they can just upload the data available in the Trace Together app, mobile app, into the system to find who are all in contact with the people who was affected earlier. So the good thing is, you know, the data can be there for 21 days in the app. So these are the quick one was developed. I think the cloud played a bigger part to deliver this quickly. If there is no cloud, it's a bit difficult. They may not be able to deliver as fast as possible. So who are the leading cloud providers? If we talk about the cloud computing and what are the backends and then how the cloud is being used, how it can be consumed. Now, who are the leading cloud providers in the market, so that, you know, I can go and consume, right? So Amazon, AWS Cloud, they call it as AWS, Amazon Web Service Cloud. Microsoft provide Azure Cloud, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. I think in China, the primary option is everyone go for Alibaba Cloud. IBM Cloud, Dell Technologies, the VMware Cloud, and few others. So it's up to the consumer or a business owner to go and choose based on their needs and requirements. So who are the providers? I just even group into a smaller one, right? IaaS, Amazon AWS, Rackspace, Google Computer Engine, DigitalOcean, all provide IaaS. And PaaS, Platform as a Service, AWS provide, which is called Elastic Beanstalk, Heroku, Windows Azure, and Post.com, OpenShift, Apache Stratos. And SaaS model, BigCommerce, Google Apps, Salesforce, Dropbox, MailChimp, all these things. So how does the admin panels look? I just give a quick overview of how, as a cloud user, how does it look? Maybe I just give you user management. So after you log in as administrator of the cloud, you can user management will be there. You go and click, and then you see all your users created there, or you can add, delete kind of thing on your own. And then services, right? So for the cloud services, what are the services you subscribe? Or you want additional, you just choose and click on it, and then you will be able to add, remove, or edit your services. And forms, you want to create forms to collect information, like feedback form or kind of thing, or survey, you can use that as well. And then service desk is to, in case if you have issue, you can just contact them how. And in case of defacement of website, what are the activities, So you can monitor the defacement activities. Deployment, you want to deploy your application after you have developed, or your SaaS model is just consuming security. You want to have your security tested. You want to do a vulnerability scanning for your application to check any vulnerability, to not to allow the hackers to attack, or you want to do a pen test. How can be done via this security? And utilization is the one I was talking about earlier, that how you monitor the usage, how you monitor the usage of your data, or your heads and storage and everything. Data service, manage database of sensitive data. If you want to have your own database, you want to store, or you want to create, you can do that here. And then information is something about your cloud information on logs. End of the day, every transaction or every access to your website or every transaction to your application is logged into a log file. You can go into it, and then you can able to view your log, who access, what time, how many people access per day, kind of things. And moreover, it's not only, it allows you to give you a flexibility. They give you a staging environment to test, and then your production is the actual one. So you can request for both. So I think after all these have been discussed, can I have some free account to try? Ambu, you have explained a lot, and then I want to try. I want to try some cloud computing. I want to try some application to be hosted on cloud. Can I have some free account to try? Is it there? Can you tell me? Yes, of course. I just give you some example. AWS provides free account to try for 12 months for free. So AWS, Amazon Web Service provide free account for everyone to try for 12 months of free timing. So the next one is how does it work? Give me a minute. How does it work? The reason is, what you can do is you go to the Amazon Web Service portal. I am having a URL here, portal.aws.amazon, or you go to aws.amazon.com, and then from there you can create a free account. which give you lots of features. Maybe I think after a few slides, I may just go live and show you for your information. And Microsoft provides free account too. Try for 12 months. So now the major players like Microsoft, Amazon Web Services give you a flexibility to go and subscribe to a free cloud model, right? You can subscribe, you create your own free account and subscribe to them, and then you can use it for 12 months. You can have your own website or you can have your own application, right? And you try, and then if you find it okay, you want to scale it up, then you pay them with the paid option. Yeah. So these are all the key information I can provide you to help you to go further on how you want to explore further on cloud computing. So if you want, I just let me give you a minute. I just go to my website and see whether I can able to show you. Okay, see AWS. You go to AWS, aws.amazon.com. You will see this AWS free tier. Over there, they give you a good example of how you can. You don't need to. You don't require me to explain this detail, but the good thing is it's all there. There are few services. One is always free. You can use it always free. The other one is 12 months free, right? The other one is trials, you know. So what my suggestion is, you go there, you choose always free, right? Or 12 months free, and then you try your best. You know, database, compute, mobile, you know, developer tools, you know, and business productivity suite. All these are there. Plenty of things are there. So what you can do is you just go and create and use and try. So that will help you to understand more on cloud in detail as a technical technical requirement. Right. So the other one is Microsoft. Microsoft, you just go there and let me show you. This is a Microsoft one. You go to azure.microsoft.com. You just type azure.microsoft.com. They will bring you here, and then create your Azure free account today. And then it's for 12 months of free services. And this one, they give you, you know, same thing, 12 months of popular free services, and they give you 200 credit to explore Azure for 30 days. That means you want to use the special services, it's chargeable. But what happened was they give you 200 credit so that you can offset that 200 credit to use that particular service. And there are 25 plus services, is always free, you can try. So these are some information I can share. You know, you can test and deploy enterprise apps, create custom mobile experiences, gain insight from your data. All this can be done. It's a free thing you can do. And then I think for students, right, it's very useful. You all can try. And then if you require more detail or technical webinar or whatever you need it on specific things, you better talk to your teachers or, you know, HODs or one. Then we may plan to arrange another one for that, particularly for those who are interested. Yeah. So now I have covered all the general and things for everyone to use. And if you have any further questions, my suggestion is you can, with respect to this presentation, you can, you can contact me at anbuselvan@hotmail.com. All right. And for students, you can approach your teachers, and maybe if referred, they may contact me for further information. Yeah. So I'm already reaching, or I have come to an end of my presentation. And before I finish, I wish to say a few things. The first one is, I wish to thank the chairman, Lion, Mr. Muniratnam, for doing such a service to all the students to have a very good education, and also to the secretary, Mr. M. Ramanan. And not least, I wish to thank Principal Dr. S. Maithili and the Vice Principal, Ms. K. Shubhana, and Head of the Department, Ms. Tamilnadu, and finally, Assistant Professor, Mr. Bala Subramanian, for giving me this opportunity to brief everyone about the cloud computing. I hope at least it helps one person. I'm very happy about it. So without that, whoever participated or whoever on live watching this cloud computing webinar, I would thank you all for watching. And once again, thank you everyone for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Anbuselvan, for your beautiful explanation and beautiful presentation. It was we received overwhelming response from the audience who is watching the YouTube live. So thanks for this incredible presentation. Even the beginners can able to understand what is meant by cloud computing, and also even a layman can able to understand your point of view. So thank you so much for that. And I request Mrs. Rajaselvi ma'am from the Assistant Professor Department of Computer Science, Akilandeswari Women's College, to proceed with the vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Please proceed, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. Honorable Chairman Thiruvalar Line B. Muniratnam, sir. Most respected Secretary Thiruvalar Line M. Ramanan, sir. Former member, Syndicate of Tiruvallur University. Beloved Principal Dr. S. Maithili, ma'am. Vice Principal Ms. Suguna, ma'am. And also I would like to extend a special thanks to Mr. S. Selvakumar, Head, Department of Physics, IQAC Coordinator. Most valued Chief Guest, Mr. R. Anbuselvan, Head Portal Applications at the Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. Participants of various college, principals, scientists, staff members, students, and my colleagues. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this great occasion. I, on behalf of the Computer Science Department, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence and took out variable time of busy schedule. Yeah, I also wish to express my gratitude to our principal, Dr. S. Maithili ma'am, for providing encouragement and kind support. I am very grateful to our management for giving us an opportunity to organize this webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much for one and all present here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your so kind gesture, and thank you so much, Dr. Minister Anbuselvan, for your time, energy, and passion which you have taken, sir. So thank you so much. And the participants have just shared the feedback forms, and please take the feedback forms from the chat box and also for in the comment box. It will be available until the end of the evening. So please take it. I'm ending the YouTube live now.